membrane. Now, how we tried to kill him was that Andrew Jackson was attending a funeral for one of his friends, and the guy kind of came out of the bushes, as you can see, and tried to put a cap in his butt. Now, as you can tell, that didn't work because the guy was insane. Because when he shot the guns, they did not fire. But when the people tried to check them out, they were perfectly functioning, and there was nothing wrong with them. What I believe happened is that he found some rabbit's blood, shoved it in the gun, and bada bing, bada boom, you got a working gun in his mind. But the reason he tried to kill Andrew Jackson was the most insane reason. Not because that he was our new president and he didn't like him. No, it was because he thought he was the rightful king to the England throne. Yeah, I know, it's pretty insane. He thought his father was the rightful heir to the throne, and since Andrew Jackson dueled him, and he thought that he killed him. Fun fact, he didn't kill him, and fun fact, his father died in California. I know, it's really weird. This guy was mega insane. Now, let's talk about dueling. Can I have a participant? Raise your hand if you want one. Graham. Okay, we're going to talk about dueling really quick. This is a very, everybody thinks dueling is like, okay, back to back really quick. So in movies, we always have like the back to back, 10 paces, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then bang, kablow. But in reality, that's not how it worked. It was a very intricate process that took over a span of like 2 to 3 weeks. Now, can I have 2 more participants? Raise your hand. Lily and Brent.
Oh, you just made eye contact with Gage.
Yeah, Gage. I know he's a 3D printer, but okay, come up here.
You need some counseling after
I've got like 10 minutes to talk. So Brent will be my person. Lily, you'll be Graham's person. Now these were called second-hand men. These men, since let's say Graham called me fat, ugly, and stupid, and we all know those aren't true because I'm beautiful and amazing, and I'm an amazing human. Debatable. Again, yes, this is debatable.
Fact.
So Graham just called me ugly. Now I'm really mad about it. So Graham, me and him are gonna push ourselves as far away as possible. I'm gonna have Brent, my second-hand man, talk to Lily, his second-hand man, woman, diversity. So they're going to talk about plans and try to set up the duel. And so go together, talk about what you guys are going to plan. Yeah,
Listen, Mason said he was handsome. So why should we kill Mason?
Use facts. And so then they would come back. This would take over a time of 2 days because they have to go to the center and then they'd have to come back and relay the information. And so the main person would tell the person that, so the second-hand man would be like, yeah, yada, yada, yada. He still wants to duel. He still wants to kill you. And the guy would be like, okay, I understand. And so after...
Was this legal?
Huh? No, this was mega illegal. This was still very illegal. But the people
why didn't they just go and assassinate?
Because Andrew Jackson's insane.
Well, the reason that they didn't do that because it was more of honor. This was all based on honor. Okay. And there were set rules for everything. So you never meet face to face. And since the people, you never have farmers duel because that's just straight up illegal. So you'd always have people like senators doing this, and it was all for honor. So basically, they would never get in trouble even though everyone knew it was illegal. So basically, after they were done, we would all meet up in one spot, so everybody come around. So now, contrary to popular belief, you could use anything, but your partner also had to use the same thing. So you could use a musket, a cannon, a pistol, which was the most common. And so the second-hand man could use whatever they wanted, fun fact. So you could have me and Graham using pistols, but he could bring a cannon and she could bring a musket for no reason besides having them.
I think she should bring a chicken.
I'm gonna bring your
you could do
grandma's
that.
face.
And so
Mason, you're too fat.
I'm gonna bring a rusty pipe.
So me and Graham.
Presentation.
He invited
So
us.
Graham would stay there. I would stay here, and then we would both have our guns. And one of them, they would both stand in the center, kind of. So yeah, go to the center. Lily, can you stand over there?
You can't make demands.
Whatever. And so Brent would say, Mason Hoffman, are you ready to duel? I would say yes, and there's a whole specific position. You go front foot, left foot, arm behind, pistol on your left. And then ask me the question.
Mason, are you ready to duel?
Yes. And then Brent, you would ask Graham.
So Graham, are you ready to duel?
Are you ready? Surprise.
And then you would say duel, but you don't have to shoot immediately. We could just stare at each other for hours on end. But you could also do a fake volley, which is just put your gun in the air, kablam, no harm, no done. Maybe you might have shot a bird by accident.
Which is what Alexander Hamilton did because he's a good person. And
Shut up.
Jackson.
This
Nobody cares about
presentation isn't about
Yeah,
Alexander.
and so
I'm just saying.
let's say Graham tries to shoot me. You shoot me, I get shot. Ow. One, first of all, that hurt emotionally, and two, you just shot me. So what would happen is if I were to die, basically Graham would still keep his honor, and I would be dead after that. And the fun thing about that is, you guys can sit down now.
Thank you, Papa.
Round of applause to them. I know, they're so
I know.
So, contrary to popular belief, was dueling actually affected people's lives. So, once a person died, you have nothing left. Because women back then didn't really get those insurance claims. Like, so let's say, like, now your husband dies, all of his money goes back to the wife and the children. But back then, none of that happened. It just kind of, where's the money go? Back to the person, like, whoever won. And so, the person who won always got, like, a higher stance of honor. So, let's say, like, they were both at the same type of honor. One disrespects the other, and so the other one, like, wants to get back his honor for disrespecting. It's a whole weird circle. And so let's say that the person that was dishonored kills the person that dishonored him. So his honor would raise, and he would be more respected as a person. And that's how dueling happened. Now let's talk about Charles Dickinson. He just threw mad fire at his wife.
2-minute warning.
Okay, 2-minute warning. Rachel Jackson. He called her something, 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 not nice words, something about being a stripper or something. Who knows? So Andrew Jackson was like, I don't like that. I'm gonna duel you now. And so they went through the whole intricate process, and when they dueled, Dickinson pulled out his gun, put the fire on Jackson, went right through his shoulder, and you know what he did? Cool! Pow! Dead. Dropped on the floor, done. Kablamo, dead. Next slide. Now, let's talk about Rachel really quick. The man, the myth, the legend. She's not a man, she's actually a woman, surprisingly. Those two really liked each other, so much that they got married. But Rachel Jackson died in 1821, before Andrew Jackson got his presidency. So really, there was no first lady for the White House. So in reality, when you think of Andrew Jackson and her first lady, which was Rachel Jackson, there was actually no one, because she was dead and Jackson was all alone in the White House. Now let's talk about his death really quick. I know, really depressing now. Andrew Jackson died in 1845, mainly because of some complications of health. Mainly because he was really sick and his doctors kept saying, like, you should eat lead or mercury or slit your wrist. Back then, that was common, so don't freak out. Now, the last words he said, yeah.
That was common and also not advised
Yeah.
today.
But his last words were that I didn't shoot Henry Clay and I couldn't hang John C. Colon. Now, John C. Colon was his vice president and Henry Clay was a senator. Now, think about that. Your last words were, I want to kill Gage and I want to hang Jacob. That would be my last words, and then just dead. And that is, okay, and his niece got a portrait 3 days before his death, and so did Andrew Jackson. That's what he looked like 3 days before his death, minus the X's. I didn't mean for that to be intentional. Do I have any slides after that?
Nope.
Nope. Thank you.
Okay.